Yes.
I'm going to
Yep.
dive into it. So the confidence formula is really designed to help seventh graders and anyone older than that achieve varsity basketball skill level, ideally before they reach the varsity team of their high school. So really, seventh grade to high school has become our niche where we help seventh graders get started on a track that makes them a varsity level player kind of as early as possible or before they even reach their freshman tryouts is kind of our pitch, whereas like we're walking into the freshman tryout and we're not nervous that it's a 50-50 game that we're even going to make it. It's like I'm skilled enough where it's like I know I'm going to make the freshman team. I might even play up a little bit, and this is kind of easy for me. That's our goal. So I'm going to dive into a few different aspects of this and kind of give you an overview. So we're going to start with talking about conquering confidence and kind of what we mean by that. I'm going to walk through the 6 systems that we use to support kind of our player success. So, for those of you that are actively enrolled in this program, this will kind of give you a preview of what we're going to be onboarding you with in the next few weeks. And then we're going to give you kind of an overview of the map of the whole course and what's involved and what each module looks like. And then a little bit about logistics, just what our court times look like. What does the plan look each week through the fall. And then at the end, I'm going to give you actually an offer about some of our add-ons and even the premium level package you can decide and think about over the weekend before we kick off next week. So, confident, I've come to call it concrete confidence based on proving to yourself that you are capable of something. And so I contrast that often with fluffy confidence, which is kind of what I see as has evolved a lot in the last few years is like the self-esteem industry is like we're pumping kids up, we're telling them, we're giving them affirmations, like all this stuff, but it doesn't really have any traction with what they have proved that they're capable of doing. And so we mean concrete confidence to be we have built this pyramid, all these stacks and layers of skills, and we know that we know what to do in a situation in basketball. And confident is like the emergent property at the end. And then I built this model over time to kind of describe what parents are aware of and what they're not aware of. So confidence is in the middle, and aggressiveness is kind of what we hear all the time. What parents want, what coaches want. We want our player to be more aggressive. Confidence is kind of the next layer down. Like we kind of know that's necessary. Like they don't look confident on the court. We can kind of notice that and we talk about it. But what I really discovered is certainty is what players really need. That's deep down here in the foundation of our pyramid. We need certainty of what to do and when and how to do it when we're in a game. And so that's what we end up working on a lot is kind of that fundamental layer underneath of confidence. And then it's really just a matter of time, in my experience. If we get certainty of all the necessary things, we become pretty confident in those, then eventually we can become aggressive in those same skills when we're in a live game. The confidence formula. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because that's a little overwhelming, but the 3 big phases we have kind of 4 weeks at a time. We have a module per week over 12 weeks. So we're constructing kind of solutions to known problems. Like we're trying to connect to what your player already knows to start out with. Here's a solution to a problem you probably already experienced and struggle with. Here's how we're going to solve it. And then phase 2, we're trying to create certainty again. So that bottom of the pyramid, we're trying to like, yes, 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 this is the right thing to do in this situation, and this is how to do it. So that we're very certain of both our technique and our decisions. And then phase 3, we call catalyzing confidence. We're like, okay, now you know how to make shots. Here's how to create shots. Now you know how to score pretty well. Here's how to measure your efficiency as a scorer. And here's how to create an advantage. Now here's with a team concept, how we multiply an advantage. And the decision maker, here's how we make decisions. Here's a framework to actually go make better decisions, throughout basketball, maybe even throughout your life. I haven't expanded that too far, but I'm a big fan of decision making and frameworks for that. And so each module, again, kind of builds on itself. Week 1, we're going to focus on prioritizing some skills. We're going to get feedback from them. Like, what's the biggest thing that you want to improve over the 12 weeks? What's the second biggest? What's the third biggest? We're going to talk a lot about footwork in the second week. Build from the sneakers up was a quote actually from a parent that I stole and have used ever more. Building from the sneakers up is a great way to describe footwork. 3 pillars of defense. We're going to kind of give them the individual defender ideas, again, connected to footwork, but here's how we can get better on defense as an individual player, separate from our team. And then the unguardable ankle breaker. If you're not familiar with that term, ankle breaking is like a very common basketball term for being a good ball handler. Like you are moving the ball so well that the defender's like tripping over themselves, right? So that's kind of how the kids talk about it these days, is what I've adopted. The finishers all around, finishing around the basket, different types of layups, finishes, and a lot of decision making that goes with that. Deep range assassin is just about shooting range. How can we move back? I just saw the stats from Caitlin Clark. She's shooting an average of 28 feet, and the three-point line is only at 24 feet. And she's even farther than Steph Curry and a lot of the other famous NBA players. She's shooting deeper range and scoring more points by doing so and stretching the defense out. So we kind of adopt that, try to get more power and more consistency from deeper range to be a shooter. And then situational skills, we go through kind of the four big situations that happen a lot in games, kind of going with our general philosophy of the 80-20 rules. Like we want to take the 20% of things that happen 80% of the time in games and just get good at those, right? If we get good at these 5 or 6 things that happen all the time, it's going to kind of take care of itself. We don't have to worry about the details that might happen once a game or once a season where a lot of coaches get down that rabbit hole and we end up spending a lot of practice time on things that don't happen often enough to really worry about. And then the inside job is in addition to our version 2.0 course that we launched this year, and really just tackling how to be an effective inside player. So what was commonly called a post player, not really used as a post player anymore because of the modern style of offense, but how to operate in the post, how to use the post if you're a guard, how to move around the basket if you're the big guy being told to be down there around the basket rebounding, how to make yourself effective and not just be stuck standing there, feeling like you're in the way and never touching the ball, which is where a lot of big guys end up and don't get to really get involved in the game the way they want to. And then I kind of touched on these already, but creating shots, measuring efficiency, multiplying advantages with teammates. So we get into a lot of 3-on-3 action to try to get playing faster, keeping the defense at a disadvantage all the time, and multiplying our advantages. And then again, decision making. So now the offer part. This is just going to describe the basic package, which if you've signed up already, this is what you've got. If you signed up early, you actually paid at a little bit of a discount. It's $1,500 if you pay in advance, $1,800 if you're into the last 30 days before the program kicks off. So it includes the 12-week hybrid curriculum, like I just talked about. It's got all the online modules and all the court time included. It's 24 hours on the court. And actually, I need to update this because we've added a Sunday game day for all players that are in the program. We play 3x3, if you're familiar with that. Was played in the Olympics this year, as well as the last Olympics in Tokyo. But it's half court, 3-on-3 with a shot clock. It's just tremendous development tool. I don't have to say anything as a coach. The players get left holding the hot potato at the end of the buzzer, and they learn to play faster, make mistakes, make decisions, and really benefit from that. So we could really say this is 36 hours because we get a game day every Sunday of the 12 weeks is included in this as part of the basic program. Then you get access to your players' practice database I've talked about a little bit, the recordings of all the workouts with their stats and video. And then this is something we came up with. I had to argue with my business manager about this because she was worried what this would actually turn into. But I'm calling it the "What did they do" guarantee because it's so consistent when somebody finishes this program that they tell us about teammates, parents, coaches, other people they've known in the past have asked them what their player did since they saw him last because they changed so much about how they were operating and playing on the court. So we've made this into a guarantee. If someone doesn't comment on how much better your player is performing within 3 months of having finished the program, we'll give them a whole year of weekly one-on-one training for free to try to make sure they're going to comment on it. By a year of one-on-one with us, they're going to be a completely different player if they didn't transform enough in the first 3 months. So that gets me excited. Kind of gives our staff a challenge. Like, this is what we're going for. Like, this is a drastic transformation. This is not the same player as they were 12 weeks ago. So then we have some add-ons. This one is kind of my baby right now. This is what I developed last season with some of our high school players and still where a lot of our best high school players live as kind of their maintenance program with us. So we call it the confidence warranty. We have the confidence formula we just talked through. The warranty is basically we built this 12-story building. We don't want it to just fall down over the next year or two. We want to at least maintain it and hopefully progress it. And so that's what this is for. So the weekly game film analysis, basically while they're in season, you send us some clips from your phone. Hey, they played a game this week. Here's two layups they missed. Here's a shot they got blocked on, whatever they're struggling with. You send us, feed us clips every week and we feed it back to them with our voiceover. So I call it seeing yourself through a coach's eyes, the best way I found to describe it, where they're watching themselves. They remember the play, kind of physically remember what it was like, and they hear me talking about what I see that they could improve and do differently, or in some cases do well. Like, hey, that was a great shot. You were wide open. Maybe you airballed it, but that was the right decision. You took the shot that was open, right? And then we do 3 times weekly text accountability. So we're sending them a message. Hey, what'd you do in practice yesterday? What are you thinking about ahead of tonight's game? How did last night's game go? What do we need to work on? And then we're doing 2 monthly workouts, and really trying to pilot the idea of one individual and one with a group each month. The real goal here is to try to reduce your obligation to get somewhere physically on the court. Like twice a week for 12 weeks is a lot. We're going down to twice monthly, where I think about like troubleshooting. Like, you can come with your list. We build a list of, here's what we saw in film. Here's what you told me by text. I've got my checklist that we're going to try to troubleshoot. And maybe the player brings a couple more things like, hey, I struggle with this situation. Our offense is this, and this is the shot I'm taking, and I can't make it. And we're going to just try to dial that in. So it can be a lot of fun, in season troubleshooting really specific details for that player. And then there's also some camaraderie we found now, is like the group workouts are like, oh, hey, I knew these two guys from going through the 12 weeks together. And so now we're coming back together during our season and like working on some of the same things. So it's normally a $250 a month. We set it up like a recurring membership model. What we offer if you sign up before the 12 weeks starts is you can get 3 months for the price of two. And we just had someone ask if they could start that anytime. And my answer was yes. So some people have done this like in sync with the 12-week program to like add another layer of like, we're getting some one-on-one attention, we're getting some film feedback, even using clips from our workout, and we can do it during, or we can say like, when the 12 weeks ends and we're about to roll into our season, we can kick that off at that point and have the first couple months, first 3 months of that maintenance program covered. So if you sign up, you get a discount, $500, basically 3 months for the price of two. And then you'll be on the recurring membership, but you can cancel at any time. We try to keep that flexible and try to put the onus on us. Like, we're proving the value of this every month, or you're probably going to not do it anymore. Next one is the keys to the gym membership. This is something we just rolled out this summer. We're starting to see traction with it going in the winter. Is becoming more popular. Basically, we have a new door code with your own key that you get, and you can show up anytime, night or day, that we're not training and use the gym. And that includes the Dr. Dish shooting machine and the whole space to yourself. So you'll be scheduling a time, showing up, using your door code to enter. Again, 24/7 is pretty realistic. We're there like 3 to 8 p.m. on weekdays, and it's pretty much yours other than that. So you can book a time and go get extra shots in the gym anytime you want. And we have 3 tiers for that. So basically, what's designed for 4 hours per month, so 1 hour per week is kind of the expectation, $150 a month. 12 hours or 3 days a week would be 360. 30 hours if you want to like go every day to the gym is $750 a month. We haven't had anybody take us up on that one yet, but the time may be coming. Somebody serious about shooting is going to kick off that at some point. So again, we do a free month of the membership with a 3 month commitment. So whatever tier you want to do, so you could say, hey, I'm going to do 30 hours per month for 3 months. We're going to give you $750 off by giving you a free month of that to get you started. And again, we had someone ask about this one as well. Like, that discounted rate could be applied after the 12 weeks is done. Like, you're already seeing us twice a week, maybe 3 days a week if you come to the Sunday game days. So maybe, we'll push that. You can sign up for it now to get the discount, but you could use it, going into December, January when it gets cold and you're not able to use the driveway anymore. Number 3 is the injury prevention training. This is my longtime co-pilot, Kelly Coder. He has his own business called Postural Foundations, and he does what I call the complement to chiropractic work. So instead of going after your bone structure to align you, he goes after your musculature and tries to give you exercises that bring you back into symmetry and alignment. And what I describe it as is don't miss 6 weeks of your season because you rolled your ankle, right? So like injury prevention is kind of exercise to prevent you from having a susceptible injury. And so what we're going to provide for free is a injury prone joint evaluation is what I call it. He's got some of his own terminology for this, but I've kind of adapted it for how I talk about it to parents. He's doing an evaluation to kind of look at your player, where is their muscular symmetry out of balance, where they might actually roll their ankle more likely on the right side than the left side because of how everything's moving and how their muscles are balanced. So we're going to do that for free. He's going to be coming to the court kind of right after our court time. Your player will be able to stay and do an eval with him over the next 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the program. And then if you want to continue with him after the eval, we basically give you a discount. So if you sign up at the evaluation, the 12-week program he would normally prescribe is a $1,200 value. You can do it for $1,000 if you sign up, at the day of the eval. Once you want to kind of prove it, give you a sample of it, let you see what it's like to work with him, and then decide. And then number four is just auxiliary individual training. So you might have the confidence warranty going on where you're getting twice a month contact with us, but some players want more. And so we've had a couple people take us up on this is 12 hours of individual training. So basically you're 2 days with the group and then a whole nother day or separate hour just one-on-one to get some extra reps, extra focused attention with your player as they're going through the course. So again, we discount it. If you sign up before the program kicks off, you get the $2,400 value it normally is. It's only costs you $1,800. So any of those are able to be added, individually, kind of ad hoc as you wish, or a la mode. Then the premium package is basically everything we talked about. So kind of pushing the pedal to the metal. So the basic Formula 12-week course, 12 hours of our individual training, 3 months of the injury prevention, 3 months of the keys to the gym 24/7 membership, and then we do 15 months of the confidence warranty. So this is basically 3 months while you're doing the 12-week course and then a whole year afterward. So we're like extended warranty, right? We are trying to push this into the future. Like, okay, we're gonna do 8th grade tryouts now, and by freshman tryouts, like we'll still be working with you all the way to that next year's, next fall and beyond. So we already went through the details of that, but basically that is just prepaid for the whole year. And the total value of all this stacks up to over 10 grand, which I was kind of surprised to see, but 10,230. And basically what our offer is, instead of 10,230, we're going to break it into 12 payments. So because you're doing a year with the confidence warranty, we're just going to basically amortize that. So it comes out to 685 per month for 12 months, and you save about 2 grand by doing it that way. So I kind of preview this almost a week ahead of the program and give you till the day of the program to make a decision. If you want to add any of these pieces on or take us up on the premium package, you can let us know and we will get that set up for you. If you've already paid the basic package, the $1,500 or $1,800 fee, then we'll be crediting that toward whatever else you are adding on here.